Good morning, Gloria Grace Rand here to talk about LinkedIn. Sorry, I'm a couple minutes late. I was got sidetracked reading a book. I'm trying to find a quote in the book that I was using, and now I can't find it. Isn't that convenient? So, hi. Anyway, we are here, and I know I saw a couple of you had posted some questions in the comments this morning. So, thank you for that. I want to get to actually June's question first, because she was asking about the tags that LinkedIn used to provide you in your LinkedIn profiles so that you could actually, it made it great for keeping track of people that you meet at networking events, for instance, or even wherever you met them. You could create tags to label people, write some notes in there. And now I know she was asking, like, it looks like you can't search for tags anymore, and that's true. Yeah, I guess, well, LinkedIn got bought out by Microsoft a while back, and they've made some changes. And of course, even before then, LinkedIn has always been tweaking things around and making, making changes, as all social networking platforms do. They're always trying to, change and hopefully improve. Sometimes not so much for the better. And LinkedIn, a lot of times, the changes they make are actually not for the better, which has been kind of annoying at times. But then again, they're also in business. They're a public company now, and so they want to be, making a profit for their shareholders. So anyway, I don't even remember when Microsoft bought them, but I know it was sometime in the last year, I believe. Hey, my own, good to see you this morning as well. And so, yeah, if you have any questions, go ahead and put them in there. But anyway, so June, I know that you had asked about searching. And what I did some digging myself, because I did notice that as well, that capability isn't there anymore. So I found an article. There's another great lady who talks a lot about LinkedIn, Melanie Dodaro, I believe is her name. And what she recommends that you do is, and I'm going to put it in I'll put it in the comments here when I get back to it. There is a hey, Becky. Oh, that's right. I was a couple minutes late, so you didn't really miss much. I'm just getting started, actually. We're talking about tagging, that you were able to assign tags to LinkedIn profiles so that you could categorize them. And this was great. Now, you can still do this, but you have to pay for the privilege now. LinkedIn Sales Navigator, you can still deal with the tagging and all that great stuff, but the free version, no, not so much. So if you still have tags, if you were doing that, there is a Chrome plugin that you can, let me double check, make sure I'm typing this in correctly. Yes, it's called, in fact, maybe there's even a link for it. Let me see if I can get, yeah, there's a plugin here. I'll even put this in here as well. It's called Duck's Soup. For LinkedIn, actually, and I'm going to actually put here's the link to it in the Chrome store as well. So evidently with this, it's a plugin. They have a free version, but it is limited. Of course, you can only deal with, like, I think, search for 5 of your contacts with it. But so then you still have to pay. There's no free lunch anymore. Let's face it, folks. I think it's $15 a month or something, and then you've got either a lot more or unlimited, possibly. But they have a way to be able to do that, to be able to search. And actually, I'm going to go ahead and I'll put the link to this article as well, so that you guys can check it out. Whoops, there we go. So that's one way that you can get around this. So I would recommend looking at that. So basically, the other way that I've found to be able to do this is that you can still use LinkedIn's advanced search feature, and you can search for your own contacts that way, because you can select first connection when you're doing the advanced search and then narrow it down. But again, if you're using the free version of LinkedIn, they only give you so many searches per month to do, and then you wind up, they're going to want you to pay. So you have to, like, basically wait until the next month and then start your search over again. So another way that can help you out in this respect is to actually save your searches. Now, LinkedIn does allow you to do that, and then you can they will send you an email like once a week with the results of the searches. So if you wanted to set something up with, say, a particular keyword, like you want to look for small business owners, or you want to look for people in a certain industry, you can do that as well. So that's another. So hopefully that helps you out, June, with that question that you had this morning. The other one I saw, Karen, I know, was asking about if LinkedIn is really effective at being able to get business. And I would say yes, absolutely. It's still effective, but you've got to put some effort into it. So it's, like anything. You can't just pop up you can't just, create a profile and, post occasionally and just expect to be able to get results from it. You do have to put in some work. So what I tell my clients when I'm working with them is we work together, come up with a strategy. Number one is to make sure that your profile is set up correctly, optimize it. You want to have a good headline that really describes who you're looking for, so that when people are searching on LinkedIn, they're going to know right away that you have what they need, essentially. And you want to have a good summary in there. Again, think of it as like your 30-second elevator pitch, and use the first person, and if you can use statistics about how you've helped other clients, that's going to be beneficial to you, and include a call to action in there as well. But beyond that is LinkedIn you can use certainly for lead generation, because you can use it to actually search for leads. So like I was mentioning earlier about doing the searches, search for sorry, I was just reading a comment from Becky that you're not really using it. Shame on you. That's okay. Lots of people, I'm not even using it as effectively as I want to, and I'm working on getting back with. I've just recently updated my own profile, and now I need to start working it more effectively. So what I recommend is search for people, search for prospects. Like in my instance, what I'm looking for right now is I'm looking for solopreneurs. I'm looking for solopreneurs to invite to my virtual Ignite circles that I'm having every 2 weeks, because I'm using those as a way to be able to get to know people and introduce myself to them, learn from them, and see if there's a possibility of developing some sort of relationship, whether it's actually selling my services or maybe enrolling them in the mastermind that I'm launching this fall. So I am actively searching on LinkedIn for, number one, I'm just going through my initial contacts that I have right now, and looking at people that I haven't talked to in a long time. I've been on LinkedIn for, oh my gosh, probably 7 years now, I think. So I have a lot of contacts that I've developed over that time, but a lot of people who I'm not necessarily in contact with regularly. So I'm going in and I'm sending them a message and saying, hey, we haven't connected in a long time. What are you up to? And seeing if I can, start a conversation with them. Excuse me, one quick second. I'm going to drink of water or tea. The next thing is, okay, let's say that you are searching for LinkedIn and you want to meet new people. Okay, you come across a new prospect that looks like someone could be a good connection for you. How do you get to start a conversation with them? So this is where you really need to, again, think about, hey Carla, good to see you. Think about what's in it for them. So number one, if you're going to put in that connection request, remember that you can actually personalize it. Don't just hit connect and let it go. And I'm pretty sure, no, actually I need to double check this. Maybe I'll ask a quick question. How many of you, before I go into what I was going to tell you about, how many of you actually use LinkedIn from the desktop, and how many of you are more using, or even if you're not using it now, but you would be using it from your smartphone, because there is a LinkedIn application. I'm just curious about that real quick. Of course, I'm on my computer all day, so I'm going to LinkedIn from my desktop. And when I see a profile, okay, you're on desktop only too, Becky, cool. Good morning, Susan, good to see you. When you're on the desktop, then it's easier because like say you go look at a profile and you click on the connect button, there actually will give you an option to be able to add a note so that you can actually add a message to it and tell people a little bit about why you want to do that connection request. Okay, so we got about half and half so far. Some are on the computer, some are on the mobile. Like I said, I'm not totally 100% sure that you can customize the message with the smartphone. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm not 100% sure on that. But anyway, let me back up the bus a little bit here. Before you actually connect with them, I want you to do a little bit of homework first, and that is to look through the profile. This is what I call my 3x3 rule. You want to look through the profile and see if you can find 3 things that you have in common with this person. So whether it's you maybe live in the same state right now or the same city, maybe you went to the same college, maybe you both belong to the same LinkedIn groups, or maybe you just have some other connections in common. But find something that you have in common so that when you make that connection request, you can refer to that and say, hey, I see that we're both members of the Women Entrepreneurs Group on LinkedIn, and I'd love to learn a little bit more about your business, and I'd like to connect with you. So do something like that first, and then hopefully they will respond to your request. Now, when they respond to your request, and they've connected, follow up with them. This is where, a lot of times, and in fact, I'm guilty of this in the last week. I got too busy and I have to follow up with a bunch of people, not only on LinkedIn, but on Facebook as well, that have accepted my friend request or that friended me. But now is your opportunity to start a conversation with them. And so send them another follow-up message and say, hey, thanks for accepting my connection request. Again, this is where you need to have done some homework, and maybe you offer them something of value. Perhaps you have your own ebook, or maybe you saw a great article that relates to their industry and say, hey, did you see this, or did you know about this? I thought you might be interested in it, and send that to them. Remember, don't think about trying to sell somebody anything at this point, okay? This is all about building relationships. I can't tell you how many times, well, actually, thankfully, it's only been a handful of times, but it has been a handful of times where people have, once I've accepted their connection request, then they try to sell me something in the next message. It's like, really? It's like meeting somebody at a networking meeting and just saying, hi, my name's Gloria Rand. You want to buy my service? Like, we got to date people before we can get married, okay? Don't do that. So again, start a relationship and maybe say, hey, can we schedule a Zoom call so that I can learn a little bit more about your business? I'd like to be able to find out more about you. Find ways that you can get this relationship going. And then once you've started doing that, then down the line, then not only that, you might find out that maybe this person isn't a good prospect for you. Maybe they aren't a good prospect for you after all. That's what I was trying to say. And maybe you know somebody else who would be. And then you can refer them. And boy, that'll be golden for you, because with that person, because then they're going to be so appreciative that you actually thought enough of them to refer them to somebody else and not to you. They might be more inclined to refer business to you now. So it's all about the relationships, Does anybody else have any other questions regarding LinkedIn? I'm trying to think what else. Well, one other thing, and again, this is something that I've done occasionally, but have not been doing enough of, and I'm looking to get back doing, is to publish articles on LinkedIn. They have their Pulse is their, essentially it's like a blogging platform. So this is another way for you to kind of raise your profile among not only your connections, but also the broader LinkedIn community. And when you can post a good, high quality article, that is going to be a way to get people to know you. But that is the key, okay? It should be something really beneficial. Keep in mind who your audience is and answer some concern or problem that they have, provide a solution to them. And that's going to be a way to be able to go. And don't be afraid to be a little controversial at times too. Don't just do 3 tips to do something or other, because LinkedIn is filled with articles like that. But offer maybe a contrarian point of view about a particular subject, your spin on something, make it your own, and don't be afraid to be authentic and really get real with people there, because that's who you want to be anyway. That's who you want people to respond to you. So if you're going to be somebody, if you're going to pretend to be something else, and then when they want to actually do business with you, you're going to be different, then there's going to be a disconnect, and people aren't going to they're not going to respond to you, and you're going to lose the sale anyway. So that would be my recommendation for that as well. So I'm not seeing any other comments, so I think those are kind of my top things on how to be able to use LinkedIn to generate business for yourself. I've done whole webinars on this, like 45 minutes long. If you go to my YouTube channel, you'll probably find some of the things might be a little old in how the platform looks today, because they've also revamped how things look over the years. But the content itself is still holds up. So yeah, so that's it. So have a good profile. Use keywords that people are using to search for you, just like you have on your website, and be proactive. Go out and search for people and develop relationships. It's all about relationships, but you absolutely can use LinkedIn successfully if you work it. It's like anything else. You got to put the time into it, and it will benefit you. So thanks for joining me here this morning. I am so glad you guys are a part of the group. And if you know anybody else who you think would benefit from being in here, please go ahead and invite them. Have them join. Like I said, the only criteria is that they're a solopreneur, and because that's the whole point, is to have us all help each other, because when we all work together and share ideas, we can all help each other grow our business. Let me just see anything else here. Okay. All right, cool. Well, thank you all. Have a wonderful start of your week, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys later on in the group. So take care.